Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Lynn and today I'm crafting with the Spellbinders Sealed 3D Botanical Collection. And I really like that with some of the collections, I would say maybe even many of them, there are at least, one but sometimes several nested shape dies. And in this collection, there's actually 3. Which is pretty fabulous. I'm actually, I don't have all of them, but I'm a huge fan of nested shape dies, and I wish I got them all, but I really like, the one that I picked, which was the scallop tags. I think that one is really fun. And the embossing folder that I'm working with, it's both a 3D embossing folder and it's a emboss and cut folder. What's kind of interesting, I don't know that I love it, but I find it hard to hate it also. So I guess I'm kind of neutral on this because this folder, it actually has 3 designs that you can emboss and cut, and they are independent from one another. It's 3 different sizes of this really, really lovely, very, very decorative design. And it's great that you can just run it through the one time and emboss and cut. And so I love that. But the only thing is that I was trying to figure out a way where I could maybe get a little bit of a 2-for-1, where I cut and emboss this the largest design out of this, and still be able to use that negative piece, like the border piece or surrounding it, and somehow maybe like inlay it back in, or just do something where I could get a 2-for-1. But the problem is that the way that these 3 designs are situated on the embossing folder, you can't really do that, because even on this the largest one, which takes up about half of the folder, part of your A2 panel gets embossed with one of the other 2 designs that's part of this set. So a little bit of a bummer. You can't really get like a 2-for-1 where you have that lovely border, and because I could see myself maybe embossing twice and then just swapping the centers, and if you do it in different colors, you can kind of mix and match and get some different looks. But in any case, this design is really, really pretty, and when you apply this gold polish that I have, oh my gosh, the design just really, really comes to life. And it's really great. These polishes, I don't use them enough, and I'm really surprised, pleasantly so, that they are they're still like they haven't dried out. They're very creamy still. It's really awesome. These are from Cosmic Shimmer, and I'm using 2. I am using the, let's see, the first one is Golden Glow Opal Polish, and then the second one I'm using is Gold Treasure. And the reason why I'm using 2 is because I created a set of seals, and you can see I've made quite a few of them. They're just sitting off to the side there. And I just mixed a couple of different colors of, I think it was gold and copper. And the Gold Treasure, it's a very, I forget, there's a word for this particular type of gold, but it's a very reddish gold and almost leaning towards the copper. So I thought that by mixing the 2, I could get something kind of close to the wax seal that I've already made in advance, so that it coordinates a little bit. So I do always put this little bit of press and seal right over the top to help keep this so that there's a little bit of an airtight seal. I mean, there's going to be some air trapped in there, but at least, hopefully it kind of helps a little bit. But you can see that once you start to, polish this, and here's the thing, with 3D embossing folders, I find this technique a lot easier to do than with a standard embossing folder, because the 3D embossing folder, it's so raised. And so it's a lot easier for me anyways to just brush, just skim the very top. And so I need to bring these polishes out and use them more, especially on these 3D embossing folders. Love it so much. Okay, so I am going to start to put my card together, and so I have to start with a fresh piece of black cardstock. I was hoping to inlay, still be able to use that border and maybe just inlay it back in. But I've got some gold. This is a gold pearlescent cardstock. Boy, I've had this cardstock for ages now. I think I got it on Amazon as I think it was a ream. It was a full ream, but split between silver and gold pearlescent. So I still have a ton of it. And that's why I don't mind actually using the full panel and not gutting out the center. Otherwise, I would probably gut out the center. But I got it at a nice price, probably 4 or 5 years ago now, and still haven't. I've made a good dent into it, but there's still plenty left. Now, I've got some black ribbon here. This is just a bit of 1/4 inch satin ribbon, and I am going to wrap this around. Now, this is a little bit tricky to do because of the shaped borders, so it's a little bit hard. I'm looking for like a flat spot to wrap this around, but at the same time, I want the ribbon to go straight across. Just helps to kind of break things up a little bit, and gives me a place to anchor my seal onto, because I actually want to place one of those seals that I created earlier right onto this card. And I made so many, and I did a lot of different color variations, and so I have some that are copper, gold, and black, which matches this palette a little bit too well. And then I did make some that are, instead of the black, they have a little bit of like a blue, a turquoise, which I thought those came out really well. It's almost like they have a bit of a patina to them. So I thought that was really fun. And a lot of times what I do, I wish I had recorded myself making these, because what I do a lot of times, is I don't actually like stop to clean out my, spoon, my wax sealed melting spoon. But what I do is I just try to kind of transition one color out and slowly transition to another color palette. And so as I started with I think it was a black, it was almost like an army colors, black and maybe some gold and greens, and then I transitioned the black out and moved more towards the browns, the greens, the copper, and then I went to copper and then gold, and then from there I started to introduce the turquoise. And so, because every time you make a seal, there's always a little bit of residual of something left behind, but you can slowly kind of, if you're only like swapping one color in at a time, you can gradually kind of almost change an entire palette. And then that way you're not wasting any wax, and you can just keep on going and not have to pause to clean out your spoon. So maybe I'll do a video next time I sit down to make some wax seals. But I do love how this card came out. I love this 3D embossing folder. I'll leave links to everything in the description box below if you want to check anything out. Thanks again for checking out my video, and until next time, happy crafting and have a fabulous day. Bye!